getting going.
Hello, who do we have on the line?
Well, you have Tony Ganios.
Oh, Wiseguy Show. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Nice to meet you, and obviously I met you already. And again, welcome to the Wiseguy Show. We have a packed house. Let me quickly introduce everybody here, so you know everybody when they're talking. We got Italian singing sensation Biagio.
How you doing, Tony?
Joey Cat he's in the guy I was telling you about who made the movie in the
What's up, Tony?
Many Saints of Newark movie. We got Jumpin' Gennaro in the house.
Not so.
Bello Wayo, Angelo.
Hey, Tony, what's going on?
We got world-renowned magician Rocco Solano.
How you doing, Tony?
We got Matteo Sturmi, Chris Totaro,
Tony, big fan. Love you.
and Gary Conti of the big ones who are performing a little bit tonight. And we want to welcome you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Hey, you have anybody there that's not Italian or every Italian in like the northern hemisphere is there?
Sound engineer Roberto.
He's Latino.
We have a Cuban that's our engineer.
Oh, okay.
Puerto Riqueño. Boricua.
But welcome to the show.
That means Puerto Rican.
There you go.
Mixed, right? Mixed.
Well, we also have a lady in the house that puts up with us, and that's Mrs. Tenore, Freddie's wife.
Oh, okay.
Well, Tony,
Hi,
welcome.
how are you?
And I got to start off. Everybody, huge fans of yours. They couldn't wait to get you on the phone. I don't have to. You're self-explanatory. Perry from the Wanderers, Anthony Meat Tuparello from the Porky's movie and the sequels, and just so much more. But let's get started. How's Tony Ganios doing these days?
Well, I can't complain really, And if I did, nobody listened anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Well, we can listen to you right now.
club, too.
We'll listen to you if you want to complain.
No, guys. I don't want to complain.
But let's get started. The movie The Wanderers. How did you even get the role, and where did you get into that? Like, how did it?
Well, I didn't really get into it. I got the role because I was working out in the gym, and somebody that was casting the movie called the gym. They were looking for what amounted to guys like me, and I was there because of my uncle Pete. He was a bodybuilding champion, and like he knew all the guys that lived around the gym and everything. So they always used to play tricks on me, and so. Somebody calls up, and it was a woman with a really husky voice, and she's asking, if there's any, guys around, basically like me. And I get the phone, I'm talking to her, and she's asking me how big I am, So I figured, I kind of saw where that was going, and I just kind of handed the phone back to, my uncle's friend that owned the place. And anyway, my uncle grabs the phone. He starts talking to this lady, and he makes me stop working out, and he brings me down to the ASCAP building. And I went to read for Philip Kaufman, and then I came back and I took a screen test, and I got the part.
Nice. Wow. I'll tell you, got to be one of my favorite movies of all time, because I'm just back then. I grew up in that time. We were all in gangs back then. I was still a little younger, but until like the early '80s is when I started really hanging on the corners and stuff. But that movie was talked about like every day, and we actually used to like think about making our own jackets and stuff like. I mean, you got that. I'm serious. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
This is Jumpin' Gennaro. What I wanted to ask you is, I know in certain films, especially that film, there was improvised moments. So was that actually in the script? Was that an improvised moment from you? And if it wasn't, if it was written and that was your line, was it directed for you to say it that way, or did you actually color it with that moment with the way you did it?
Which moment are you referring to?
Yeah, you didn't mention the moment.
What moment?
Leave the kid alone.
No. That was totally scripted, and that was done. That was shot my very first day. So I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Wow.
And I got annoyed at Michael Chapman. Is probably one of the greatest DPs that ever lived. He passed away recently.
Sorry to hear that.
He was shooting the scene, and they were going to do a close-up. So they took the slate and they put it in my face, right? Because it was a close shot on my eyes, and he clicked the sticks, and I got pissed off. I wanted to smack him. I didn't understand what he was doing. And I was saying, "What do you got to put that thing on my face for?" So he took me aside like I was 3 years old, and he showed me a light meter, and he showed me the sticks, and he explained to me how the sticks are there to sync sound and film. And then I felt like a horse's ass, So, but I didn't know. It was my first day, and I got excited, and I pushed one of the actors through a window in that alley into somebody's apartment, and that was my first day. I thought I did a terrible job. I just felt bad, and I just felt everybody was being nice to me, So I went to Ken Wall and I said, "Hey man, I really think I suck," And he goes, No. He says, "You did okay." I go, "You know what? You're just saying that." And he goes, "No, I'm not saying that." And he just looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, everybody here is pretending that you did a good job just to make you feel good." He says, they got a multi-million-dollar production here, and everybody is in on it, So then I shut up. But that was my first day. So that's it. All I know is that Phil Kaufman, the director, told me that people are going to remember this line, and I had no idea what the hell he was talking about.
Wow.
That's great. That's amazing. Now, when I first met you at Chiller, you said to me the Baldies were a real gang.
Yes.
And in that scene, that first scene that you appeared, were any real Baldies in that scene?
No, those are all actors, and Erlen Van Lidith, or the Judah, who played Terror, he was a very interesting guy. He was a banker. Actually, what he did was design computer systems for banks. That's what he did. Wow. That was his profession. He was an MIT graduate.
You wouldn't think so, right?
And no, by looking at him in that shaved bald and that black leather jacket, you would never think that. Yeah. The rest of those guys were actors. We did, however, have some guys come on the set that were claiming to be the original Fordham Baldies, like it was like the Knights Templar or some shit, you know what I mean? And they were trying to shake down the production. And that didn't go over very big. But, if all the guys that I've ever seen that came up to me and said I was in the Fordham Baldies, if they actually were, they'd have a bunch of guys. They'd have more guys than the Marines.
Wow. Now I spoke to you a while back. You did say. I mean, I don't know if I remember the conversation right. You're saying that. Remember we spoke. Did you say that the Baldies still exists, or in New York?
No. The Baldies were a real gang. They were Italians.
Oh.
And they were around. I mean, they didn't have bald heads like you saw in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And they got the name. I mean, there's like kind of people. There's like an argument as to how they got the name. Some people say they got it because they would grab people and shave them bald.
Oh, okay.
Other people say it was somebody's last name, like an Italian last name, like Balducci or some kind of thing like that.
You want to know what I think it was? This is
Sure.
Gianni Gennaro.
Tell him, Mike. Tell him.
You know, one of the greatest leaders in military in Italy was?
Of course.
Garibaldi. Garibaldi.
Mussolini.
No, before Mussolini was Garibaldi.
Okay.
And Garibaldi they conquered when he led. So it could be a short version of Garibaldi.
Well, there's a lot of Italian, but I don't think the guys that call themselves the Baldies would have known that.
Yeah, me neither. I just was going to say that, Tony.
Oh, he said Baldies, Garibaldis, Baldies.
Yeah.
But Tony,
history majors.
Most people become famous from one character in a movie, and they live that as their legacy. You move on to a movie, Porky's, and again become one of the main characters from that movie, Anthony Meat Tuparello. how did you take? You know, you're a younger guy. How did you take that to know? I mean, you must have been living on a dream at that time.
Well, actually, it wasn't like that. I mean, when we did Porky's, the movie was a very, very low budget film, and they showed a lot of nudity. The entertainment industry hated the film, absolutely hated it. And you know, when we did the film, we thought, hey, this is going to be, you know, put away someplace, and nobody's ever going to see it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And the character I played, if you look at the story, my character was completely superfluous. I was not needed in any way, shape, or form to make that story work. I was just stuck in there. All the other characters that you saw were based on real people.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
Except mine. Mine was completely fictitious.
Oh.
And we had no idea that would happen. We had absolutely no idea. An interesting story. I'm sure you guys have all seen The Godfather, right?
Yes. Yes.
No, not me.
No, he's full of shit.
Come on, man.
No, don't believe anybody here other than me.
bullshit.
No. All right. You remember the actor? His name was John Marley. He was in the scene where he was the guy that was the film producer that wakes up with a horse's head in his bed, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, the reason Porky got done was because he used to play cards with Marvin Davis, the guy that owned Fox Studios at the time. And he was a friend of Bob Clark's, the guy that wrote and directed Porky's. So he brought the idea to Marvin Davis when they were playing cards. And they agreed to give the picture a distribution. Now, the movie was made on a shoestring budget. It was funded by a producer used his American Express card to fund the movie. That's how he did it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's the truth. And when we did this film, you know, nobody had any idea that would happen. You know, that was the furthest thing from our minds. And we were saying to ourselves, you know, there's no way they're going to show this. This is not going to get. There's no way this is going to be the first cut of the movie that was released. They premiered the movie in a couple of cities, and it was rated X.
Wow.
Shit.
For the time. Yeah, the stuff that was in it, I mean, it wouldn't have been that bad now
Back in the
by
day.
you know, today's standards, but the original version was rated X.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
This almost sounds like an American Clockwork Orange story. You know what I mean? That they never thought it was going to succeed, and it was too. You know, people were against it, and then all of a sudden, it becomes world renowned. You know.
Well, the industry hated it. I remember I was in the ICM building. That's an agency. If you guys aren't familiar, and one of the agents there, his name was Michael Black. He was yelling about something, you know. And I walked in the office, and he had the screenplay for Porky's, and he was talking about what a piece of crap it was. You know, how can they make this garbage and all this kind of stuff? I never heard of it. I just picked the script up, I looked at it, and I put it down and walked out. And a couple of months later, I went to see Bob Clark. I didn't audition for the part. He just hired me. You know, but that's what he was. And like, people in the business hated the movie so much that it was hated even more because it was successful. If that makes any sense.
Right.
So that's the story with Porky's. You know, The Wanderers was it was only in the theaters 2 days, maybe a day before it was pulled. So
I could watch that day. I could watch that every time from beginning to end and love every minute of it. The scene in the beginning with you, I got to say, just inspired for you to watch the rest of the movie. That was the main. That was that was the part. And I'm telling you, as kids growing up, I might have been 14, 15, growing up in the streets of Newark and seeing that movie because we had VHS maybe back then or HBO, I don't even know. And to when you saw that movie, I mean, I can't tell you many times going to hang on the corner where I hung out just to talk about, I was just watching The Wanderers, and you know, it's just we all believed we were the Wanderers,
Yeah.
you know. And
Tony, thanks a lot. That's when we all used to start getting locked up.
too, yeah.
So that's
So you were a bad
Joey Cat.
influence on us all.
Joey
Tony.
Cat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
but I want to tell you the truth. I honestly,
Well, he
I
was
met-
representing us.
Listen, I
is
met
what
him
he
in
was doing.
person. We
Yeah.
spoke for a while because Chiller, I think, had bad weather that day, and we were just sitting around talking. And Tony, you're a little older than us, not much, but you're just like us. You're no different than us. And when I spoke to you, I felt like you live in my neighborhood. You know, I know you're from Brooklyn, but I was from Newark, and the two are very similar. You know, when it comes to people talking.
Well, thank you very much. That's a really nice compliment.
Yes, thank you.
What about
Anytime.
there's another thing I want to ask you. The toothpick in your mouth thing. Is that something you do? Or is that
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's funny. Since I was about 14, I started to chew toothpicks. God knows why. Maybe it made me smoke less. I'm not really sure. Then I graduated to matches because they seem to hold up better. And I
That's what
don't know
said.
why I
This is
chew
a
the
sick
match.
match.
Yep, you said that's
I honestly don't know why I chew the match, but sometimes I've actually fallen asleep with a match in my mouth, and that's the truth. It just happened that the character, as it was written in the screenplay, also chewed a match. It was a coincidence.
Well, I think that a big guy like you, the toothpick, couldn't see it. That's why you went to a matchstick.
Well,
But-
no, I mean, I've walked around. People look at me and they don't know about the Wanderers, and they go, "Well, how come you get that match, man? You think is that like you think you're tough?" I go, "Yeah, the match, the little piece of wood in my mouth. That's what makes me tough."
No, but if in the Wanderers, if you really watch the scene, you were moving that matchstick like you owned it, like you were rolling it around like you owned it. Like did you practice that, or you already knew how to
No,
do it?
he's
I'm
done
telling
it
you, I've
before.
been chewing a match since I was
Yeah.
14. When I went into audition, I've been chewing a match for at least 4 years.
See, that's why people that saw it, you were completely in character. So you're saying that was your first experience,
I
and you
didn't
didn't know acting.
what the hell I was doing. I'm being honest with you.
Well, you were in the
had
moment.
No idea what the hell I was doing.
You were in the moment. You were in the moment. You're like you're. Listen, the moment was the truth of the moment was, you're standing there and you're saying, "Look, I didn't know what I was doing," but in the truth of the moment is you're figuring out, what you were gonna do, and you made it clear if the guy didn't stop that you were gonna snap his neck. That was clear. So, but in reality, you're like, what am I doing here? What the fuck I'm gonna do here? So that was your
No,
truth.
it's not that. It's just that I've never done anything like that before. When I had gotten on set, I mean, I did take I did screen tests with 40 other guys,
Right.
and I got this part. But the fact of the matter is, I had never had any acting lessons. I didn't know anything about acting. The only person I knew that was an actor was a buddy of mine named Lou Calvelli, and I went to high school with him, and he was in all the school plays. I used to go there to make fun of him. I would sit in the audience and say nasty shit while to be a dick. And then when I got the script, I figured, okay, I got the script, right? And I got to take a screen test. Now, I haven't the faintest idea what I'm doing, right? So let me go to Lou. So I call this guy up and I go, "Hey Lou, what is all this crap? What am I supposed to do? I have the screen test and how do I not fuck up? And he looks at the script and he goes, "Where'd you get this?" What did I get it? I don't know. I found it outside. I'm telling you, I need help. Help me out here. What do I do? So he starts explaining all this shit to me that I have no idea. He's telling me about layers of performance and dynamics and shit like that. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. So I just did what I wanted. So,
That's amazing. No, that's amazing because I'm taking it in what you're saying about your friend and maybe you wanted to be an actor, but then you go on. Not only do that, you go on to doing Continental Divide with John Belushi, Die Hard 2 with Bruce Willis. You're on. I'm telling you, it just. What made you stop acting? I mean, you kind of backed out of it, or stop. You just stopped. You were talent, and I'm sure you could have been in a hell of a lot more movies. Is there any?
Who got to work on the many Saints of Newark?
Joey Cat. Joey, you.
Okay.
I'm here,
I got
buddy.
to work on that too. I got hired for that. And believe it or not, I was there for a day. They wrote in a part for me. They went, they went over schedule, and the part was cut. So I got paid to work on that movie, but I was asleep in my trailer.
Well, now that because I don't know, Joey has mentioned it, but I don't know if everybody in the room knows this. Joey, share your story on Many Saints of Newark, how it happened.
How I got the part?
Well, your acting career really started with
my
Many
wife's-
Saints of Newark.
How you doing, Tony?
How you doing?
My wife's girlfriend from Middle Village, Queens, sent a picture in. I had no clue what was going on. So they wanted 4 bookmakers, and I was one of 1,500 that got picked out.
Wow.
So I guess they liked my face. So,
Well, it must be. Yeah, they must.
So,
be. It's the same kind of thing. Did you now when you worked on the picture? Where I was when they were shooting was in Brooklyn. It was the biggest production I have ever seen.
okay, my scene was shot in Bethpage at the
Okay.
what was it called? I don't
So
know.
you're right on the island there.
Yeah, on the island. Ray Liotta's in it. A lot of great actors were in this. It's a great scene.
I remember getting getting to the set. I get out of the subway and I'm walking to the set, right, and I see like for blocks, I see trailers and trucks.
Yeah.
And
They
I
did a
get
lot.
to the and I get to the trailer and I ask a PA. I go, "Hey, where's what do you call craft service?" And he says, "Okay." He says, "You see that sign there? There's like a billboard." He says, "You go down 2 blocks, you make a left." I go, "Oh, okay, that's good." Fuck that noise. I'm not gonna
Oh my
walk
God.
10 blocks to get a cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh my God.
But it was the biggest production I had ever seen.
Yeah, they did another big production in Newark on Bradford Place when they did the riot scene. But I don't want to start,
Did they was that already? Did that already show? Did they already show that? Because the original idea was to put it out in the theaters, and then I heard they were going to put it out on cable. They were going to.
HBO Max.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Right. Yeah.
October 1st. It's coming out on HBO Max in theaters for at first. The
Okay. Yeah.
the premiere is September 22nd at the Beacon Theater.
Oh, okay. The Beacon Theater. That's.
Right.
I'm sorry, I remember correctly. That's on. I think it's on 14th Street.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's something. That's something.
Yeah, so that's what happened. She sent the picture, and they called me, and I said, what is this? You got to go to New York to get your costume. What are you talking about? I said, what? I was like going nuts. I said, are you kidding me? So that's how it started for me, and I've been
Well,
doing.
good luck with that, man. Good luck with that.
Thank you. I got a little taste, and I got my beak wet, and I'm having fun.
Well,
You got the bug now.
Now I got the little bug, so now I'm rolling with it. So.
Tony,
I got a few
I also have Biagio here, who is doing the Festa Italiana on Sunday. He wanted to ask you if you were coming or
Well,
not.
Tony, if you're in Jersey, we'd love to have you.
Well, thank you very much. But I have other plans, but I really appreciate the invitation.
Well, we just figured we offer you the invite. You're always you're once you call in our show, you're part of the family. You know what I mean? So
Well, listen, we're going to give you an advance right now, December 3rd, which is a Sunday.
Saturday.
Oh, sorry, Saturday
Friday,
night.
Friday
night. Let's start again. December 3rd, a Friday night, we're going to have the Wiseguy Show Christmas dinner with Rocco Solano in the house here, the best
Did you ever hear Rocco
magician
Solano?
in the world.
Honestly, no, but I don't go by me. I don't really.
No, I know.
that much.
But Rocco's definitely one of the most world-renowned magicians, especially in our area, but all around the world. He's known. He's the only one that really won. I'm not good with my memory, but it's kind of like he won 2 gold medals, where most magicians, if any, they won 1. I forget the name of the award, Rocco. What is it?
It's called the Olympics of Magic.
The
FISM.
The FISM, yeah. Well, Rocco's won it twice, and I think one was in Switzerland?
Sweden.
I'm close. That was close.
Oh, you're right. And the other in
Got the yes
Yokohama,
right.
Japan.
And Yokohama, Japan. He'll be performing at our show.
I will.
That's really, really something, guys.
Yeah, Biagio will be performing. We're going to have another event. Hopefully, we'll get event.
Hopefully, we'll
virtual
see you
first.
at one of the events, Tony.
Hey, listen, now you guys talk to some of the warriors, right?
Yes.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to get a show together or something that has both the Wanderers and the Warriors together.
I'm actually working on it.
I think we talked about that with
Yeah,
the
no, I am
producers.
working on it.
So if you get a hold of some of those guys, give them my phone number, tell them to call me.
I already did their. I know their booking agent. His name is Gary Demers. He does all the shows for them. It's very to get them all because some live on the West Coast. He's well aware of the conversation I had with you about doing this, and he's working on it. He's going to try to see if he can make it happen. And once he didn't ask me for your info yet, but he still works with them as we speak. So I guess they're going to eventually get this together and let me know, and then I'll contact them right over.
We're actually working on the Wanderers, Warriors, and the Wiseguy.
Well, the Wanderers have never done any kind of an autograph show, and that never happened. When I was in Chiller in 2012, and I saw you guys, I was there with the bunch from Porky's.
Right.
So
That's right. I remember.
the Wanderers. I mean, the Wanderers. There was never any show for the Wanderers. That was never
Ken
done.
Wall, he's not. He's believe he's not. He's sick or he can't do it or something. I
Well,
heard.
that's just not something he's interested in.
Right. Okay. All right. But everybody else, you're pretty much close.
Yeah, everybody else, yes. As far as I know, last time I talked to everybody's pretty much on board.
How you gonna get Terror to come?
Well, for that I need a crystal ball because he is no longer with us. He passed in 1987.
I know. And it's a shame because that was all growing up. He was in Stir Crazy, another great movie. But before we let you go, just a few things. Die Hard 2, when Bruce Willis stabs you in the eye with an icicle. Is that right?
That's right. Well, yes, it was made to look that way. Yes.
Now I know you. Now I looked you up. Now I did find more information on you. You're an original student of UFC founder Rory and Gracie.
Yes, I am.
That's amazing. Let me tell you something. Right, do you still study that, or are you still studying?
I haven't in a while, but I one of the things that I always wanted to do on my bucket list is get my black belt from Horian.
Oh.
And he has that school now. That's something I always wanted to do. I really enjoyed doing that. I was one of his original students. When he was teaching out of his garage in Hermosa Beach, I was one of the original guys that was taking up Brazilian martial arts.
Yeah, that whole Gracie family is just amazing.
Yeah. They're related to the Machados too. The Machados are their cousins.
Oh, wow.
Now, two more questions before I let you go. If anybody has any questions, would it be anybody?
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Tony, if you like good music, check out the big ones. Great original music. Check us out on YouTube. A lot of cool videos.
All
Me
right.
and Gary, we're Italians. That's for sure.
Well,
I
Tony.
guess you guys are like a professional Italians. I'm looking at the poster for that event. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, we do some stuff. Biagio does some wonders putting everything together, and we just follow along. And now we're doing our own event in December, and we're trying to incorporate it all together as one. And like I said, we work together. We help each other. We're not celebrities, but some of us are, some of us aren't. And we just work together as a crew. You always need a good crew, and we just push forward to do good things.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good, gentlemen.
Now, finally, one question, and then I'll let you go. Your most memorable moment that you did in all your shootings, all your movies, something that sticks with you that you look back on, and just something that may come up in the beginning of a conversation.
If I had to pick one single moment from my entire film career,
yeah.
Gee, that's a real tough one. I don't know if I could narrow it down to any one moment, but I will say that Wanderers was my favorite film. I really enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun. It was at times it was almost real. That's the way I feel about it. It was very, very real, that film.
Can you leave us off then with one of the most famous lines in movie history?
What? You mean? Oh, okay. Leave the kid alone.
What you say? What you say? Tony Ganios, thank you so much. And listen,
You're welcome.
keep us in mind. Anything? Listen, I promise you, something will happen with the Warriors and Wanderers. Just give it a little time. I know Gary Demers is a big hustler. He will make it happen.
Have somebody, have one of those guys call me.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. We're going to make it happen. I just don't know when and where, but I put it out to the right guy, and it will happen. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to meeting you again, and hopefully
Tony,
you can
we
make
got
one
it.
of our events.
We got our famous line to celebrate, but you're gonna have to do it with us. I'm gonna count to 3 in Italian, and then
Okay.
you're gonna have to say "Azzo." Okay? On the count of
Azzo,
3,
yeah.
everybody. 1, 2, 3, Azzo!
Thank you so much, Tony Daniels.
Thank you, guys. Thank
God
you, guys.
bless.
Take care.
God bless.
All right. God bless you too. Take care.
All right. Wow, that's something, Chris.
That was interesting.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, I didn't get into. He did the Scarecrow, Mrs. King. He did Wiseguy movie with actually Ken Wall was the the star. Yeah, he was the wise guy.
We got to try to get him to sit down with us one day at the table if we can get him here.
Yes.
That would be
It's an amazing experience to sit down and talk with him. I got lucky. We went to Chiller. I got in. I paid for a little extra for the to get in early. Yeah, for the VIP, and the weather was bad. And I got in, and I was the only one in the room with him, and nobody was coming in because it was pouring out, but nobody got the VIP. So I'm in the room, and we're just sitting there talking I gotta say, we talked for a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Yeah, a little older, but he's the same guy, and he's still big, and he can mess somebody up. He's 6'4", he's solid, and he's a big guy, you know, and yeah, he's a big guy, and he's strong, you know. And I was fooling around. I said, when I invited him to the Festa Italiana, I said, look, you know, if you're worried about security, he started laughing. He said, like, security? He goes, I'm my own security, you know. And I said, you know, yeah, I guess so. I didn't think of it that way, you know, but because I met him, and he's a strong, big guy. But some people always, you never know. Some people worry about security.
I was very impressed that he, in detail, he remembered, you know, all those moments.
Yeah.
You know, he was given, you know, total detail.
Like I said, most people we have on the show, they had they're that one hit wonder or something like that, but they're famous, one-time wonder. This guy, he did 2, you know, and to be famous in Hollywood twice, you know, that's a big. And then these other movies, Continental Divide with John Belushi. I saw the movie, but I guess it wasn't as a comedy as much as a typical John Belushi movie. I don't know if any of you saw it. But I mean, I wasn't crazy about
I had
the
no
movie.
idea that he was in Die Hard 2, though. I didn't know that was the guy that got killed with the ice.
Yep. No, he was in.
Listen,
I gotta watch that scene over again.
that's the thing, though.
Do you remember that scene in Porky's though, when the nurse is looking at him?
Yeah.
And he had the bent. She's like, "What are you fucking?" You know?
Yep. No, he was. Listen, I said I wouldn't lie. You know, everything I said when we were kids growing up in Newark, and that movie inspired us as a gang, as kids growing up.
Criminals.
In the streets, hanging on corners and act. We wanted to get jackets like them. We were actually thinking about doing jackets to design similar to theirs, but you know, in the Newark, I forget what we were calling ourselves, Newark Warriors or something.